second graders. It is social studies time, our favorite time of the day. We are going to be talking about businesses today, talking about businesses and how businesses could provide a good or a service. Some even provide both. I'm going to share a story about Arthur and a business that he started. Then we're going to read about a real life girl who started her own business. We'll also be talking about the word entrepreneur. You'll be hearing lots of that word next week. Let's get started. So today's story is by Mark Brown, and it's called Arthur's Pet Business. Well, what is a business? A business is an organization where people work to provide services or make goods. One important goal of a business is to make money. There are other goals too, of course. In this story, Arthur wants to make money, and he also wants to show his parents that he is responsible. While I'm reading, be thinking about why Arthur chose to start the business he did. Hi, my name is Mrs. Gallagher, and I am going to share the story today. Here we go. Arthur's Pet Business. You've been looking at puppies for months, said DW. When are you going to ask Mom and Dad if you can have one? I'm waiting for just the right moment, said Arthur, so promise not to say anything. That night at dinner, Father asked, "What's new?" "Arthur wants a puppy," said DW. "Blabbermouth," said Arthur. "A puppy is a big responsibility," said Father. "I can take care of it," said Arthur. "We'll think about it," Mother said. "That means no," explained DW. After dinner, Mother and Father did the dishes. "Can you hear what they're saying?" asked Arthur. "They're worried about the new carpet," whispered DW. Suddenly, the door opened. "We've decided you may have a puppy, if you can take care of it," said Father. "Wow," said Arthur. "But," said Mother, "first, you need to show us you are responsible." "How will I ever prove I'm responsible?" asked Arthur. "The best way I know is to get a job," said DW. "Then you can pay back the $7 you owe me." Cha-ching went her cash register. Arthur wondered what kind of job he could do. "You could work for my dad at the bank," said Muffy. "He needs some new tellers." "If I were you, I'd get a job at Joe's junkyard, crushing old cars," offered Binky Barnes. "Do something that you like," said Francine. Now that gave Arthur an idea. "I'll take care of other people's pets," said Arthur. "Then Mom and Dad will know I can take care of my own." Arthur and Francine put up signs to advertise his new business. His family helped too. Arthur waited and waited. Then just before bedtime, the phone rang. "Hello," he said. "Arthur's Pet Business. How may I help you?" "Yes." "No." "When?" "Where?" "Great," said Arthur. "Hooray! I'm going to watch Mrs. Wood's dog while she's on vacation, and I'll earn $10. Oh no, said DW, not nasty little Perky. Isn't that the dog the mailman calls Jaws? Asked Father. That's Perky, said DW. The next morning, Arthur ran all the way to Mrs. Wood's home. Right on time, said Mrs. Wood. Grrr, growled Perky. She hasn't been herself lately, said Mrs. Wood. I'm worried. I'll take good care of her, said Arthur. We'll be best friends. Grrr, growled Perky. Here's her schedule and list of things she doesn't like, said Mrs. Wood. I'll see you next Sunday. I don't know if you can see this, but that list is really long. Arthur did his best to make Perky feel at home. Every day he brushed her. He tried to fix her favorite foods. Then they took long walks, day and night. Perky made sure they had the whole sidewalk to themselves. You look exhausted, said Mother. Maybe taking care of a dog is too much work. Any dog I get will be easier than Perky, said Arthur. Well, word of Arthur's pet business got around. On Monday, the Macmillans asked Arthur to watch their canary, Sunny. On Tuesday, Prunella gave Arthur her ant farm. On Wednesday, the Brain asked Arthur to take care of his frogs while he was on vacation. Best of all, on Thursday, the amazing Larry asked Arthur to keep Cuddles, his trained boa constrictor. Wow. Animals were everywhere. Until Mother put her foot down. I want all these animals in the basement now, she ordered. By bedtime, all the pets were downstairs, all except Perky. Perky slept in Arthur's room. On Saturday, Buster asked Arthur to go to the movies. I can't, said Arthur. When I finish cleaning these cages, it'll be feeding time. And anyway, it's Perky's last night, and she seems sick. I don't want to leave her. Well, I bet you're happy today, said DW the next morning. You get rid of Perky and collect $10. I can't believe it, said Arthur, but I'm going to miss Perky. Arthur, Mrs. Wood just called to say she's on her way over, said Mother. Now, wait here, Perky, ordered Arthur. I'll go and get your leash. When Perky went back into the kitchen, when Arthur went back into the kitchen, Perky was gone. Here, Perky, Perky, called Arthur, but Perky didn't come. She's not in the basement, called her father. She's not in the backyard, said DW. She's lost, said Arthur. Uh-oh, said DW. You're in big trouble. Arthur, Mrs. Wood is here, called Mother. Hi, Mrs. Wood, said DW. Guess what? Arthur lost Perky. My poor little darling is lost? Asked Mrs. Wood. Don't worry, said Father. Arthur's looking for her right now. Suddenly, they heard a bark. Everybody, come quick, called Arthur. Look! You see? Hold it up. Can you see? Look, said Arthur. Perky's had puppies. No wonder she's been acting so strange, said Mrs. Wood. You've done a wonderful job taking care of Perky when she needed a friend the most. How can I ever thank you? A reward would be nice, suggested D.W. Shh, said his mother. Here's the money I owe you, said Mrs. Wood. And how would you like to keep one of Perky's puppies as a special thank you? I'd love to, said Arthur, if I'm allowed. Of course, said Mother. You've earned it. Wow, said Arthur. $10 and my very own puppy. I can't believe it. Neither can I, said D.W. Now you can pay back my $7. Ka-ching, went her cash register. Let's take a stretch before we discuss. Be back in a flash. Okay. Did you have time to stretch? I hope so. Let's take a look at some of the questions to think about. Did you notice why Arthur chose a pet business? I did too. It was something he was passionate about. When you are starting a business, you really want to love what you do. That can be very important to the success of a business. Think of Arthur. He had to work long hours and he had a lot of responsibility. If he didn't love it, it might be challenging to put in the effort needed to be successful. Did you notice how Arthur let people know about his business? Yep, advertising. Did you notice all the posters Arthur made? Did you notice how his family helped him spread the word about his business by hanging the posters all around town? A successful business needs to think about advertising. This is how they will let the consumers know what their business is all about. What were some of the risks that were involved in Arthur's business? There are always risks when starting your own business. Will it be successful? Will people want to buy my product or service? For Arthur, there were risks. He watched dangerous pets. He could lose a pet and did. How about destroying his mother's house? All of those things may have inhibited his success. The last question, what did Arthur earn? Money, right? Most businesses want to earn money. But Arthur, he earned more than money. He also earned the privilege to have his very own puppy. I bet most of you would say that that is more important than the money. Let's review. Businesses can provide both goods or services. A business that provides a service is providing an action to satisfy a customer's wants. For example, Arthur started his own pet sitting business. He provides a service by looking after other people's pets. A business that provides a good is producing something that a consumer can touch, feel, or use to satisfy his or her wants. For example, this week we met Apple Annie. She makes cider, pies, muffins, and cakes, and she ventures into the city to sell her goods at a stand. Let's meet Lizzie. At age 6, Lizzie Marie Lickness yearned to take horseback riding lessons. She wanted them so badly that she offered to help foot the bill. When her parents asked where she would get the money, she replied, "I'll sell healthy, homemade baked goods at the local farmer's market." From that moment on, Lizzie became the founder of Lizzie Marie Cuisine. A few years later, word about her original recipes and ability to empower young people had spread beyond her local community. She soon began receiving invitations to demonstrate her cooking skills alongside celebrity chefs at major cooking events. This entrepreneur, who hails from Georgia, expects to launch a series of healthy cooking cookbooks, packaged food products, and new digital media shows in the near future. Her best advice: the greatest reward is doing what you love for the good of others. So Lizzie, along with Arthur and Annie, are all entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is someone who owns his or her own business and works for himself or herself instead of someone else. That kind of person gets to make all the decisions a boss would normally make, plus do the work. And you know what? You don't have to be a grown-up to be an entrepreneur. We saw that with Lizzie. All you need is an idea and the desire to make it happen. An entrepreneur takes the risk to develop a new product or start a new business. It takes creativity, organizational skills, courage, time, and money to start your own business. To succeed, entrepreneurs must produce a good or service that people want and get a high enough price to earn a profit. As we wrap this lesson up, we'd like you to move on to the activity page. The activity today that you are working on is going to ask you to think about, are you an entrepreneur? Are you thinking about how to get started? The key is to find something that you're good at and something that you enjoy doing. We'll ask you to list some of those things on a brainstorming sheet. There's also a fun Kahoot if you have time for it. It's been my pleasure spending time with you today, boys and girls. Here's to entrepreneurship in Haverford second grade. Have a great day.